Big Brother, mainstream media. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Coming to you from Florida. I'm on the road, broadcasting worldwide on over 100 AM and FM affiliates, simulcasting on XM channel 166, and of course blasting out via the internet at prisonplanet.com, prisonplanet.tv, and infowars.com. I'm Alex Jones, your host, and we're going to be live here for the next 3 hours. Now, in studio, back in Austin, Texas today, we're going to have Sheriff Richard Mack in studio. So he'll be sitting in my seat for those that are watching prisonplanet.tv and breaking down the huge success with his idea to get hundreds of sheriffs together out in Colorado last month and to have them discuss standing up against the out-of-control federal expansion and power grab that's going on, the usurpation of our republic. And this has sent the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, federal government, Denver Post, into conniption fits that the sheriffs may actually, through the people of law, try to reclaim their jurisdiction and power from the foreign banks that have hijacked the nation through the criminal federal government. Also, as you know, he's suing the Southern Poverty Law Center for saying that he's called their violence against police, which is comical. I mean, anybody that knows Sheriff Mack knows that's ridiculous, and he kept telling them, you better retract this. And when they finally did, it wasn't to the full extent, and so he's suing them. We'll see how that lawsuit is going. You know, the ADL's lost lawsuits before. The ADL was set up, of course, to defend a group of gangsters who were getting in trouble, and then they would just politically go after anybody that went after the group of organized criminals. And you can go look that up in of the ADL. It's a historical fact. But somehow they train the police department, so the Southern Poverty Law Center, they get to write up the reports. The feds then give the local departments, demonizing constitutionalists, the founding fathers, Ron Paul. You read these reports, they're very cartoonish. But it actually creates a self-fulfilling prophecy when the police then go out and attack constitutionalists or go out and engage constitutionalists from a perspective of somebody's an enemy, and then they actually get a fight back. And I hope we stay on the air here. There is just a typhoon-level storm hitting right now, and lightning and thunder. I don't know if you can hear that, but we had a pretty good connection yesterday here in Florida, and we hope it continues. But it's simple. If I walked up to somebody walking down the street and bowed up to them and acted aggressive, they'd probably bow back up. I've seen people that have bad attitudes in life and think everybody's out to get them, and they just get along with nobody because it's almost what they're looking for. It's what they're expecting. And so I've got a better idea. How about the American people and the police and the military not be at each other's throats and just sit back, take a deep breath, and really look at who runs the federal government and who is preparing these reports that they're giving you. Now, the military, I know, is woken up. To the great extent, they're awake, and the rest of them are waking up fast. The police are starting to wake up. It's not as fast-moving or as deep as with the military, but it will happen, thanks to all of your work out there. I mean, I talked to a lot of people, who actually have Ron Paul stickers on their cars, and the police tell them, all right, you're speeding, here's a warning. By the way, I like your Ron Paul sticker. And I've experienced things like that myself. I mean, I'm not really somebody who even is bashing the police. I'm bashing police that are out of their jurisdiction, out of their authority, who are on power trips, or who are crazed, or who are so scared of the public that they constantly turn not even molehills into mountains. And they turn potholes into mountains. Anyways, I haven't gotten to the news. Huge broadcast coming up. Huge news on Obama pitching the race card and more right here in Florida. It's all coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Big transmission today. Thank Thank you so much for joining us, my friends. Alex Jones coming to you live from Florida. I'm going to be speaking for our local affiliate, 810, in Orlando, where we're #1 on the AM dial for talk radio, trouncing Lord Limbaugh, the great. I'm going to be speaking this weekend at the Orlando Highlight Center, that in its entire 50-year history, they were telling me, has never sold out their big speaking venue area. And they've had big bands in there, you name it. It holds over 1,000 people, and they've got about 100 tickets left right now. And they believe it's going to sell out. I think even some TV stations are going to be down there saying in the 50 years since the Orlando Highlight's been here, it's never sold out until now. Talk show host Alex Jones came to town. Just an interesting little factoid. You folks are awesome. I'm going to give you a powerful speech, Blueprint to Defeat the New World Order, and I'm going to premiere a 40-minute documentary breakdown analysis titled New World Order, the Blueprint of Madmen. So our blueprint to defeat them, and of course their blueprint of out-of-control madness. If you still want to get tickets while they're available, Infowars.com/events. Infowars.com/events. And you can also just go right to the Orlando Highlight and find the event this Sunday. They're online. I'll also be broadcasting from the event with the Sunday show, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. That'll be 5 to 7 here. And then the event kicks off at about 7:30. But I think the doors open, they say, like 6:30. So I will see you there. Speaking of the Big 810, I've only been on about a year. And again, it went from like 4 or 5th in the ratings, depending on which demographic, to #1. Another testament to the power of liberty. I think I started the show like this yesterday, so I'm going to get into the news right now. I'm going to have a talk show host who I've been on the show 5 or 6 times in the past, named Doc Holliday on. I was on his radio show right before this one this morning on 810, our affiliate. He's a local show. And he was saying, do you know about the riot over the latest Nike tennis shoes at the Orlando Mall? And I said, no. And he sent me a link to it. And he said, do you know about Obama and his African Americans for Obama? And I said, yeah, I saw that announcement 2 weeks ago. And he said, well, they're airing that here in Orlando on TV. And there's incredible racial tension and fights breaking out and riots and things. And I sure enough went and looked it up. It's true. And he said it was completely a racial thing with the NBA All-Stars game there yesterday. And that when Obama was in town for $30,000 a person plates, and then he snubbed the local Daytona 500 event, and that they even blocked off a lot of the area around where the All-Stars played and blocked roads off, major roads coming in only for the VIP Obama people. So the royalty. And the globalists love to use any event, not just G20 or NATO events, to lock everything down and have checkpoints and act like it's the end of the world. That happened. But by having that talk show host point this out to me, I did some more research this morning and went back to the subsection of Barack Obama's presidential website, which is African Americans for Obama. And I was completely blown away that I saw this 2 weeks ago when it first was put on YouTube. Now it's being aired on TV. And it is absolutely, totally, 110% illegal what Obama is doing. You just heard me right. It is totally and completely illegal what he is doing. I'm going to tell you here exactly what he's doing in just a moment. But first, I want to mention some of the other news that's coming up. And I want to tell you how it's illegal here in just a moment. No, not saying African Americans for Obama. That's not illegal. We know what that is, though. I mean, imagine white people for Mitt Romney. I mean, it would be the end of the world. Or that's not what's illegal. That's just racial division, gangsterism, when any group goes out and makes it all about race. That's balkanization, and it's coming from the Democrats, from the multiculturalists who sell multiculturalism as a way to actually balkanize people in the name of unity. That's not what's illegal. I'm going to explain it here in just a moment, because the video is amazing. We're going to play the video, air the audio here for the radio audience if you're a radio listener. I've got Paul Watson doing an article on this right now that'll be up in the next hour at Infowars.com. I'll give you the video title. You want to find it for yourself as a radio listener on XM, channel 166, or however you're listening. Now, after I go over that, because Doc Holliday is going to be popping in, Insider says talk of Paul Romney alliance is establishment trick. And he can made the points that I'd made for 2 hours before he came on. That, of course, is the guy that first got Ron Paul to run for office, the guy that ran his campaign, the guy that was his chief of staff in Congress, Lew Rockwell. Worked for Barry Goldwater. So you want to find out who went out and farmed Ron Paul and found that great mind? Lew Rockwell. And, Lew publishes newsletters, all of it. Lew agreed. He said, yeah, it's about making Ron Paul look like he's an establishment sellout to people, just like they tried to claim he's always flying first class, and it turned out that wasn't even true. Even though congressmen can get it paid for first class, he refuses and doesn't. But then he gets so many airline miles, they bump him up. I've flown before on American, don't even fly that much. They're like, oh, you've flown 3 times with us this year. You're bumped up to first class. So they found that and said, you fly first class on taxpayer money. When it's paid for to fly back and forth from your district in first class, he won't even do that. But they said he did, and said he was a liar. And, of course, it turned out it wasn't true, and even MSNBC had to retract themselves. The point is they're looking for crooked toenail type stuff. I mean, you've got open crime being committed. You've got all this corruption going on. You've got all of this out-of-control New World Order behavior, the illegal wars, the torture, the trillions being stolen by mega banks, the NDAA, the abolition of the Bill of Rights and Constitution, open calls for internet censorship, total federalization of local police. Rome is burning. The Titanic is sinking, and they're out there talking about Ron Paul didn't wipe his nose properly once, or once he talked with his mouth full, or once, he didn't say please or thank you, or he didn't carry an old lady's groceries across the street fast enough. This is the type of stuff they're doing. And so Rockwell completely concurred with my analysis. He said it is all about trying to get people in the Paul campaign to actually, the general public, some of them to actually clamor for it. And then that will actually create the illusion that Paul himself is for it. And then, Republican insiders offering jobs to people that work for Paul. All that's going on. That does go on. On Paul's supporters. Oh, Romney likes Ron Paul. Well, he can't be that bad then, you see. So that's what's going on. And we had a whole discussion about it. Spent about half the show on it yesterday. I think it was worthwhile, but my instinct is Lew's instinct. And I meant to shoot a video yesterday, just a special comment, but I'll do it now. You mark my words, just like I told you Ron Paul would run, Rand Paul would run, just like I told you he'd run 4 years ago, just like I broke all this down, and just like I told you there'd be election fraud too. But still, by running, he educates people. We win by resisting. We show how it's all a fraud by resisting. That's another step. When you quit fighting, that's when you're dying. When you're fighting, that's when you're living and getting stronger. What is pain? It's weakness leaving the body. What is political pain? It's weakness leaving the body. When somebody makes fun of you because of your political views, you don't get your feelings hurt. You take satisfaction